Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. This is Tour Live Q&A for February. This goes live to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And we are here, me, Hera, today, and we have Gunnar and Hans with us. Tadeusz, unfortunately, couldn't make it because he is having a little chat with our artist, Gyula Hwangsak, and they're going to have a talk about our artwork and hopefully make a video out of that interview. How are you, gentlemen? Your hair looks beautiful, Hans. Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Where
Gunnar, your hair looks quite okay.
It's dirty and full of concrete and stuff.
Concrete.
Yeah.
What's in your hair, Hans?
Water and soap.
Wow. I put a little bit of concrete in it. It sticks well.
Yeah, you've been working with concrete lately?
Oh, I've been working with concrete every single day for a long time now.
Can't see it in your hair. If it's full of concrete, it's hiding it well.
It's very concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
My beard is full of wax again, but my hair is a little bit of hairspray. Maybe I get this fluffy looking madman hair every now and then. Fixable only with hairspray. What we are here to do is answer people's questions. Now let me see. We have 46 people with us at the moment, and let me go through the questions here. Shay Ivana has a nice comment. Look at all your hairs and beards. Haha. Well, haha right back at you, Shay. Matt Frank asks, here going for the CC Top beard? No, I don't think so. We have a challenge in the band at the moment, if you haven't heard, Matt, not to cut our beards for a year. That includes only the end of the chin. I think I'm going to have to cut this sooner or later because this is growing straight out and it drives me crazy. I look like a homeless
I'm going to let the shit grow.
You are?
Except from mustache. I can't have that. So.
I'm already, I think I decided I'm going to go to a barbershop and have him trim this a little bit because this growing straight out, looking like John Petrucci is just not me. How about you, Hans?
Yeah, I have already been trimming the sides once, and I'm probably going to do it soon again. I just start to look choppy in the face.
Yes.
Yes.
Same here. My girlfriend's not happy.
No.
So I guess a barbershop it is. You're just going to let it grow?
Yeah, I'm just going to let it hang.
This little beard of mine.
Yeah, but the hat looks more and more like a football. So.
Yeah. Shay Ivana has another question here. Coming to Glasgow soon. That might be, yes. I'm not sure if I should say this, but I think the UK tour that was planned is going to be postponed. I think it's all but certain now. And if it is postponed, there is the option to include more shows. And of course, if anyone asks us if we want to include more shows, we will say yes in a heartbeat, but it's up to bookers and promoters to figure that out. I'm really, really hoping for it, honestly. If not, please come to wherever is the closest to you that we're playing.
And it's about time to make a UK tour, so it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's way overdue. Matt Frank has the best questions. What is the most useless talent or skill you have?
Picking my nose.
That doesn't require much talent or skill.
That's what I said.
I don't know.
I think actually my talents are quite useful.
I've I'm good with languages, but that has proven pretty useless so far. I never became a linguist.
Come on.
I wasn't.
That's done you well on tours. Come on.
Yeah, it's done me okay. I can speak German to Germans and all the Scandinavian languages to Scandinavians. So, and of course English. So, yeah, it's okay, I suppose. Some Czech here and there also. But I wasn't born with many talents. I was born extraordinarily stubborn, though.
Same here, I guess. I don't have that many talents as such. I try to do things, so I wouldn't exactly call it a talent.
No, like our friend said, Bergman said, we're not talented. We're just stubborn.
Yeah.
And I think I realized when he said that, yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true.
Hans, do you have any
No, I can't think of any
skills? Like spinning the fidget spinner ridiculously fast.
I was not even good at that.
Oh, I got a very high score on Snake on my old Nokia. What was it? 5130 or whatever they were called. The original Nokia cell phone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Remember the Snake game?
Oh yeah.
I could get a full screen easily. There's a week I'm not going to get back. Johan Peter Dam says, look, I know you think Ocho were badass, but this is getting ridiculous, guys. I'm afraid it's going to get a lot more ridiculous still.
Yes.
So
it's going to be a whole year of
until November. Yeah. So going to get a lot worse. Yeah, fine. Hails from Norway here. Hails from Italy.
I was about to say something in Italian, but I actually don't know a word in Italian.
No parlo molto bene italiano.
Molto bene italiano.
Yeah, here's a question that we kind of answered just before from Gail McPherson. Hi, is the British tour still going ahead? Eventually it will. If it will happen on time as planned is up in the air now, I'm afraid. The festival in the Great Yarmouth, the Hard Rock Hell Spring Break, was postponed till next year. And we had a show cancelled for another reason. So this might not happen on time, but eventually it will happen 100%. So stay tuned for that. Kevin Reynolds asks a very timely question. This may be a long shot, but are you considering doing a tour with the Faroe Islands Symphony Orchestra? Yes, we are. It's not... well, first let everyone know what he's talking about. There's this DVD that we recorded and is released now with us and the Symphony Orchestra of the Faroe Islands. It's a double CD. I can show you here. And a DVD. It's available for pre-order now at our web store at tier.fo. We recorded that on the 8th of February 2020 in the Nordic House in the Faroe Islands with the Symphony Orchestra of the Faroe Islands. Of course, we didn't establish that event. It's an extremely costly and complicated event to make. It was made by the Symphony Orchestra, by the Nordic House, and by the Faroese TV and radio. The guy who came up with the entire concept was talking about exporting it to Denmark, the other Nordic countries, and maybe Russia also. Last time I spoke with him. Where he got with that until now, I have no idea. But it actually may happen that we're going to play some more shows in the neighboring countries of the Faroes. But a proper tour, as we usually go on tour, I think that is pretty unlikely because we would need 10 tour buses and we need to sell 10,000 tickets for every show to make it feasible, and I don't see that happening. So a few more shows might happen, but not a proper tour.
And we're looking forward to it. That was a joy.
If it happens, it'll be an absolute joy. Unfortunately, we'll have to get Terry with us again and put Hans on the standby. No. You'd be in. Just wanted to see if you were still with us here.
We'll put Terry in a box and chain him, and just use him for display.
That could sell some tickets.
Yes.
There's a lot of comments here about the UK dates. We will have updates for you about that as soon as we have them. We are ourselves still waiting for updates. We can't say anything for certain at the moment. Stay tuned on our Facebook.
Now, don't be afraid to. I don't know what to say.
Karol
ask some questions.
Grześkiewicz asks, "Hello guys, nice to see you. How are you doing?" I'm doing well, thank you. What are you doing when you're angry? Was the question.
I break stuff.
I have a long bad conversation with Heri.
When I'm angry, I formulate responses to whatever I'm angry about mostly, and think about it. I haven't broken anything since I was 12 years old, I think, in anger.
It's
although I do feel like it sometimes.
I usually never get angry at home or at work or whatever. If I do, usually I go for a very, very long walk. And when I come back again, I have completely forgotten what the hell it all was about.
But that was a nice walk.
Yes. So that's what I do. Do you get angry, Hans?
Sometimes.
What upsets you the most? Hans.
Upsets me the most?
Yeah.
I don't know. When stuff doesn't work the way it's supposed to.
Like technical stuff on your computer, recording and stuff?
Yeah.
The signal won't come through. You have no idea what's wrong. There's nobody to call.
Problems that make no sense and never have happened. And suddenly they're there.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
So what do you do about that?
Figure it out.
On your own?
Googling.
Call me next time. There's a guy called Music Tech Help Guy on YouTube.
Yeah.
Has videos on almost everything you can think of in Logic. At least I use Logic when I record.
Yeah.
If you know how to look for the stuff online, it's almost always possible to find the answer. But one thing that has driven me crazy while we're talking about things that drive us crazy is MIDI signals. How to bounce and edit the length of MIDI files. I've looked everywhere on YouTube and Google trying to figure it out. I've asked experts, every MIDI expert I can think of. No one has a solution to the question. When you bounce a MIDI file, how long is it going to be? How do you decide where it ends and where it starts? What even decides where it ends or starts? It just seems completely random to me. Come again?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know.
You don't have the answer for me, no.
No.
Nobody has.
You mean like if you bounce let's say some violins you've done in MIDI, you don't know how to make them start at the same time as the other tracks?
Actually, that's never a problem when you have an instrument that's in MIDI. But if you have some effect change commands in MIDI, and you put them in a specific place in the song. You bounce them into a MIDI file and then run it to change whatever effects you have.
Yeah.
Making that line up in the right place has been a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. And I'm glad we're free of that now. We do all the effect changes from the computer, and it's not perfect. It's not 100% precise, but it's much better than the nightmare with the MIDI files. Just to recap what truly drove me crazy at one point. Good riddance for that MIDI garbage. Here's someone who agrees with me. Ex-Vienna, MIDI files are the worst. I agree 100%.
Sure. I wouldn't know.
Here's someone who asks Hope Petro, here, what shirt is that? This is a shirt from the very nice American band Oak, Ash and Thorn. They were very kind to me and gave me this t-shirt once when we met them in the US. That is Oak, Ash and Thorn. I suppose it's black folk metal from America.
America.
Denicia, Leighton Miller, please come back to 70,000 tons for 23. If it were up to us, we'd be on the bill already. I'm afraid it's not entirely up to us. It's up to the bookers of that event. What's his name? Andy Piller, the Swiss guy living in Canada, I believe. The whole event is his project. And as soon as he asks us, I have a yes here waiting for him. A loud yes. Yes, please. Sign us up. Unless you gentlemen would rather stay home.
Oh, no. I like the boat very much.
To anyone who hasn't heard about 70,000 Tons of Metal, it's a festival that lasts 5 days. It's on a cruise ship, goes from Miami to somewhere in the Caribbean and then back again. It's about 50 or 60 bands every time. Each band plays 2 shows. And in my opinion, it's the best festival there is in the entire world, that I have seen at least.
Definitely. Silence.
Yes.
I kill you.
Karol Grześkiewicz asks, Gunnar, is that a Dimebag guitar headstock behind you?
It's a Dean guitar, but it's a flying V. If I can get it out, I can try to get it out.
That's beautiful.
Hello.
Hello again.
It's a flying
That's
V.
a beautiful instrument. Nice
It's
colors, man.
Very
nice.
beautiful and very dusty. Oh. I love this
Very
guitar.
cool.
I bought this guitar in New Jersey when I was on tour. And actually, there was a certain girl in New Jersey that bought it for me. She actually paid for it. I was supposed to give her the money, but she said, no, it's yours. So, thank you very much.
Can you give me that girl's number?
I could, I would, I should. So, it's it's really, really cool. I saw that I went into this shop and I wanted to buy a travel guitar because I want to learn how to play guitar. And this thing was hanging on the wall, and it was just like, this you see on the movie. You see the ta-da! There was nothing to do. I just had to have it. So it's a beautiful thing.
It really is. Not really seeing any questions. A lot of comments, a lot of hellos from here and there. Nicholas says hello from France, Brittany. Hello, Nicholas. Very nice to have you here.
Kom med,
Let's take this one. Infected produce. Sorry if this has already been asked. No worries. But any plans for a triumphant return to the US yet? Yes, that is absolutely in the works. I don't think we have any details on that yet. We hope for at the end of this year or early next year to be on tour in the US again. All will be revealed loudly on our. We have some updates for you. Got to answer Matt Frank. What is the dumbest way you've been injured? Oh, there's a long list of potential answers to that.
I fell some years ago off a roof, which was very dumb because I was overconfident. And I almost, I don't know, I hurt my leg, and it still hurts. But there's and I got at work. I went to I had to drill into some concrete, so I just checked before to see. Let me see how soft this concrete it really is. So, and I thought, should I wear some goggles? Just try it first. A big chunk of a stone was stuck in my eye. And I had to go to the doctor, and he had to pry it out of my eye.
Ouch!
And that just goes to show, wear goggles when you do anything.
Yeah, I've been there, done that. The stupidest thing I've ever done. It's so stupid. We were practicing at a friend's basement. A drummer friend, and we were done practicing, and I was coiling up my cable, and the jack end of the cable was flailing about, and I was just pulling it in, and it hit me in my tooth, which broke. My right front tooth in the upper mouth, and yeah, I have issues with that till this day. It's by far the stupidest and most unrepairable thing I've ever done. Keep your mouth shut when you're calling your cable, son.
I was right now. There's a big storm here in the Faroe Islands, and it rains a lot here. So my boat gets full of water, and I go out with a pump, electrical pump, and I need some power. And I see there's a power cord, so I use it. And stupid me, because there's already something plugged into it, but it's been raining all day, so it was completely wet. So I thought, I might get electrocuted. Nah, not really. So I just took it, and yes, I got electrocuted, very much so. And I had to do this quite a few times, because then I had to plug my pump into this, and I got electrocuted again. And I had to plug it out as well, and plug the other guy's pump into this again. So I got electrocuted 4 times in a row until I went up on the road and saw there was actually a switch to turn it off. Ta-da! When do you learn? Never. So I was quite awake that day after that. Oh. Hans
has no stories apparently.
Can you beat that?
I'm sorry, I can't think of anything.
Okay.
It's probably because I have not woken up yet.
Here's a good one. Yvonne Estrada asks, what are some of your favorite gifts from the fans? Greetings from Mexico. we got a lot of things over the years.
I actually have one right here, and I think, if I'm sure, I could be wrong, but I think actually it's from the southern part of America anyway.
Oh,
This
that's nice.
thing,
That is very nice.
this is
It's for-
really nice.
It's for putting hot pots on the table.
I actually don't know.
Looks nice.
It looks really nice.
Um,
Oh shit! I almost lost it.
I was sent a few things. I had a hand-carved knife here, and I'm waiting for some other stuff from a guy in the US, a sword maker. I don't have any of the items in front of me, but someone made a clay figure of the cover of By the Light of the Northern Star, the Viking on the front and the cross that he's chopping down.
Okay.
I have it packed down somewhere. I have some flags from Argentinian flag, I think, with Tyr on it. I should mention maybe. Yeah, go ahead.
I think I actually do have quite a few stuff here somewhere of all our stuff through times we got from. You remember we got a big painting from.
Yeah, I remember that. Do you have it?
Yes, I do.
Nice. The thing is, we're absolutely overpacked every time we go on tour, and bringing us big stuff is sometimes very inconvenient for us because it's simply not possible to get it home. So we may have left a few things on tour buses here and there because there simply isn't room for it in our luggage. What we appreciate the most when we're on tour is clean underwear and clean socks, because that is extremely difficult to first to bring enough with you and to get your stuff cleaned while you're on tour. So people usually bring us food, drinks, alcoholic drinks, which is kind of wasted on a band on tour because we get so much to drink of alcohol and anything else that sometimes the tour bus is full of beer because no one can drink all of it. And there's no water. So there's really no need to bring us that, although we do appreciate the gesture. If you really want to make us happy, bring us clean underwear and clean socks. That is what we need the most desperately when we're on tour. Not when we go to a festival, for example. Then those trips are 3 days. But when we're on tour for a month, you wouldn't believe how stinky socks can get after a month. You would think there was an upper limit, and they stopped getting more stinky at a point, but no, there isn't. Do you agree with me, Gunnar, or
not really? Because
have I gone off the tracks?
I usually don't get stinky feet. It takes. Actually, it's very often happens when I come home from a tour.
Really?
For some odd reason.
Maybe it's because I'm jogging every day. Or maybe my feet are just stinkier than yours. I don't know.
But the underwear. Oh my God. No.
Here we go. Lay it on me, man.
I don't know. I don't think touring is that bad, really. I don't have that many problems with it. So.
Except didn't say touring is bad. Touring is amazing.
No.
There's no doubt about it.
Maybe being able to wash your clothes every now and then, but I think we got a good routine by the years by finding a laundromat and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, sometimes, especially when you're flying a lot, it's not possible. In South America, for example, it can be very difficult.
Yeah,
in Russia and those countries,
that's an issue.
If you're on tour in Germany, around Germany, or in the US, it's not impossible, although it might be difficult sometimes. And it's the worst part of touring. I absolutely love touring. There's no doubt about it. If I had to find the worst thing about it, it's dirty socks and dirty underwear. And we're packed, 20 guys in a tiny bus like a submarine, and everyone has the same issue with dirty socks and underwear. So it gets pretty funky inside the bus every now and then.
Yeah.
Here's one from Johan Pederdam. Which of the old fairy stories which you haven't had featured in any of your tracks already would you either like to make a song about or have in an unreleased sketch form already? I have some ballads lying around that we haven't released yet. And there are some stories. I was reading through the collection of fairies stories and fairy tales. There are some I've been thinking about could be very nice to feature in a longer story. We did one once about Fluxmen, for example, and wouldn't be nice to make something similar with I don't know, some of the oldest and longest fairy stories, Reine Toften or something, or some similar reasonably detailed and brutal or gruesome stories. So that will probably happen in the not too distant future. I suppose that question is wasted on you. You're not sitting with a story you'd love to write a song about.
No, not that kind of story anyway.
No. Any kind?
No. That would be about the deep sea or something like that. So,
Yeah.
but not be very fitting to anything.
I am hereby greeting Felix Barrera Aviverde. Hello, Felix. I suppose he wouldn't mind a greeting from you, gentlemen, either.
Hello.
Rachel King says, "You guys are going to get flooded with underwear and socks now." Yeah, I suppose we will. Wouldn't be so bad. Carrie Mandeville asks, "What kind of books do you like to read?" The latest book I read was probably Bruce Dickinson's "What Does This Button Do?" and no, maybe Brian Slagel's book, "For the Sake of Heaviness," or what it's called. I'm not sure which one I read last, but I find those very interesting and insightful to see how the big band started. You know, how everything was like at the start of modern heavy metal. Yeah, those are great books and very insightful for guys like us, I think.
Yeah. I read the one with Bruce Dickinson. That's a great one. But normally I read books about technical stuff. How to do this and how to do that and stuff like that. And I read some storybooks as well. So, but I read a lot of these autobiographies, I guess you call it, on bands and whatnot.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a book about the Challenger accident, which is quite. I read that it's a long time ago, so unfortunately I don't remember it that well. But I just remember that was very interesting to read.
Yeah.
How all that came together, why that happened, and stuff like that. Pretty cool stuff, but that was a very big, long book. So
Take us through your bookshelf, Hans.
I haven't read a book since I left school, so I would be lying if I liked any kinds of books. I think I have only read one book in my life willingly, and that was Dave Mustaine's autobiography.
Was it good?
Yeah, very good. Yeah. But yeah, I'm a super fan, so I had to force myself to read it.
Yeah.
But it was very cool. I actually heard how it's called audiobook like a year ago, which I enjoyed more. I thought it was more fun to listen to.
The same book, you mean, as an
Yeah.
audiobook? Yeah. I absolutely prefer audiobooks also. I listen to a lot more audiobooks than I read books recently, and podcasts about interesting things also. I like to listen to different podcasts. There's the one called Saga Thing podcast, where they go over the Icelandic sagas one by one. Very interesting. Crime podcasts, the Krimpodden from VG in Norway, for example, going over unsolved and solved crime cases.
That can be
fascinating.
Very fascinating stuff.
If you can stomach Norwegian, then Krimpodden is absolutely worth it.
That's like Danish.
Det skal man ikke si til nordmennene.
Nei, da blir det veldig sinte, og da er det ikke så godt å være der.
So it's not the same as Danish. There is no language in the world like Danish.
Som dansk, for Når man siger remoulade. That's how you speak Danish, people. You have to you have to toss your tongue out everything you say.
I have to tell you. That, of course, it's hard to learn Faroese online. There's no Faroese on Duolingo or anywhere else. So my girlfriend asked me, "What's the best way to learn anything like Faroese online?" So I said Danish or Norwegian is probably the closest you can get. Icelandic is a bit more technical and difficult, so she started Danish, and she's not the only one who said this. We have another very close friend who also tried to learn some Faroese through Danish, but they both said, "You just feel like a moron trying to pronounce Danish," so they stopped and switched to Norwegian instead. Norwegian. I think it's the friendliest and nicest sounding language there is, Nynorsk. Whereas Danish is, I speak almost fluently Danish, and I lived in Denmark for many years. It's a very user-friendly language. You can say almost anything in Danish, but some of the pronunciations are just. One of the most difficult dialects in the world. When you're in Denmark, Hans, do you speak Danish or English?
I try speaking Danish. I went to school for half a year in Denmark, so I can speak it pretty good. But often, like when I just arrive at the airport and need to buy cigarettes, I'm like, fuck it, I will not start yet. That's just English.
I know the feeling. No, I think my Danish. I think I would. I would be able to speak Danish just like that if I met a Danish person by accident. But it really is. I'm convinced that it's one of the most difficult dialects in the world to speak properly.
I wouldn't know because I am Danish. I'm half Danish, half Faroese, so I know it by heart. That was my first spoken language. So. Girls and boys, that was my first language.
Girls and boys.
Girls. I said girls and boys. Eh?
And you can speak English with a Danish accent.
I love how the Danish, when they speak English, that's the best. I thought I was wrong, but I wasn't. It's very difficult. I must say. Yeah, but I like it anyway.
Yeah, I was. There are a lot of internationally successful Danish actors. When I see one on Netflix, I can immediately pinpoint it's Danish.
I think even
they have very specific mistakes.
Yes, and I think even the actors, they go through very tense courses to learn to speak to lose the dialect.
Absolutely, because if you speak to Danes in Denmark, you don't hear any Danes speaking fluently English. I mean, they know all the words, they know all the grammar, which there isn't very much of, but they have this thick accent, and none of them unless they are actors, almost get rid of it.
It's very
Like
difficult.
us speaking perfect English.
So when we talk English, right? So
Here's a comment
It's,
from CD Hagen
you
in
can
Norway.
really hear it, but I don't think it's that bad, really.
CD Hagen from Norway says, vi blir da ikke sint for slikt. Men norsk er jo lettere å forstå enn dansk. Yeah, for us from the Faroes, Norwegian is much easier than Danish, I think.
Again, that's a language which is quite close to me because I have my cousins are all Norwegians and live up in Hammerfest. They're all from Hammerfest, and I really like the accent they have in Hammerfest. It's very different from the one further south. So, but in Norway, there's so many dialects; it's unbelievable.
Yeah, huge country.
And the northern people usually say when they travel further south, they have no idea what they're saying. So has to be quite bad.
I think the most difficult Norwegian dialect I've encountered is around Karmøy.
Karmøy,
When we play at Carmageddon. I actually have to speak English to some of those guys.
But I don't know. It has its very charm, I think.
Absolutely. Wonderful language. Yeah.
And then we have...
Jakob Kruse Clausen siger remoulade med grød og fløde. That's Danish.
Yeah.
Do not attempt this at home. We are professionals.
So the time is about to be there where I actually have to go out and work.
All right. This was very nice to hang out with you guys. Let me remind you again, you can pre-order, not you two, I'll give you a copy. Pre-order A Night at the Nordic House DVD and double CD available at tier.fo. And this was great. Don't forget that Tiercast 29 will be out in 2 days on the 7th, and we'll be live again on Instagram on the 3rd Saturday of February.
Oh, this was great. See you all there.
See you.
Then and when.
See ya.
I don't know.